Be exactly what you want to be without all of the fear around you. We have to stand up together.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Built to Exit with Jason Sisneros, your humble host, where we talk about all things business and all things about your SMEs. I'm going to start making sure that everybody starts using that terminology, because a lot of people go, I don't want a small business, right? But all big businesses started as a small business, and then they go through the medium deal, and then they become big, right? SME, small and mid-sized enterprises. It just means you have either 0 employees all the way to 499. We are a venerated group of merchants who keep the world rolling by what we do. I don't care what it is that you do. If you're listening to the sound of my voice and you have a business of any kind, you're creating value, you've fallen in love with the outcome of someone else, and you are building a business and feeding your family and doing what you got to do to make that business grow and succeed, you are in the right audience. You are watching the right show. And just to remind you, those of you that are new to the show, because we have a bunch of people that are joining that are new, that are like, what the hell is this? Why is everybody telling me I got to go watch this show? Why do I got to show up on X? I'm live right now with my audience on Twitter right now, x.com at the J Sisneros, every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're live. And so we do the show, we do this content. Those of you that are watching on replay or on video, you are watching a replay of what we're doing live. And if you want to join us live, we're on Twitter every Saturday, and you can join us, join the conversation. We stop here when I say goodbye. We go back into the room and we have a lively discussion about the content, about things people are going through in their own business, about a lot of subjects, actually. We go off the rails sometimes, but it's a really great group of people coming together. And that's what I wanted to say just before we get into the content today, which is don't be fooled by tactics sometimes. I'll get into that here in just a second. But I want to remind everybody kind of why we're here. There are a lot of consulting firms out there. There's a lot of people that are business coaches. There's a lot of people that are running their small businesses and trying to find the right information and trying to figure out where they belong. And community becomes more and more important as you're attempting to improve this thing called your business, your own machine, your own end game machine, right? We talk about here at Built to Exit that Built to Exit, everybody exits. How matters. And so we don't want you to do there's 3 types of exits. One is the involuntary exit. That's where your business goes out of business. You fail, it closes down. That stream of income goes away. I've had 3 of those in my career. I talk about them a lot on these shows. And right in the very beginning, by the way, which was probably the best place to have those 3. and then the dictated exit, which is not on your own terms, right? You're dealing with somebody that's buying it. You kind of get put in a position where you're stuck having to take what somebody will give you. That's also not ideal. But then really what we hyper focus on here and at Built to Exit, my company and Anton J, is the custom tailored exit. And to be custom tailored, you got to know what the outcome is, what you're looking for, what it is that you're doing in your own life. And the bigger picture is that we're building a community that's building strength in numbers, and why we have the consulting side of what we do, the digital programs, all the stuff that we do, and why I do the show is that so we can build economic strength in numbers and economic strength, so that we have a bigger voice in formulating the regulatory government existence that we all have to operate within. And so there's 3 major components that I want you to understand. The bigger platform, right? The bigger platform of why I'm building this community, why I want you all to make more money, right? Why I want you to all take more and deeper control of your own destiny is that we are decentralizing power economically by you simply existing. We talk about it a lot. Small business owners are rebellious by nature. You owning a business is an act of rebellion in and of itself. Rebellion against what? Mostly being controlled. Your time, how much you're worth, all those different types of things. It's an act of rebellion. And so when we come together, there's got to be a purpose. There's got to be an understanding. And I get asked all the time, Jason, why are you still doing this? Why are you still in the game? And it's for three major reasons that this community is being drawn together. And number one is for us to do business with each other. It's to find each other, whether you're in the audience, you have a specific business, and you're showing up live. We're going to have a community that we're going to roll out here at the towards the end of the year that you're going to be able to join so that you can find each other and do business with each other. Because a large portion of our strength gets taken away, the more centralized power becomes. And that what I mean by economic centralization of power is monstrosity of organizations and companies that can then coordinate with a corrupt government and set rules against us that may say they're playing by one set of rules and we're playing by another. Bigger picture, okay? Yes, you own a business. Yes, I want you to do better. Yes, I want your family to be economically free so that you can do great things or whatever it is that's on your heart to do. Start a charity, sail the seven seas, whatever it is. This tool that gave me freedom is a great tool for you to have. And so for you to have that freedom, we have to maintain that freedom for multitudes of people. We need to keep the SME, small and mid-sized enterprise environment thriving. And the way that we do that, number one, on the platform that I think that we should all be focused on is to do business with each other. Okay, that's kind of rule number one. Number two is that when we gather these numbers, as we start to pool our economic strength together, we can have a say over enforcing antitrust laws. We live in the worst antitrust environment on the planet. And I know these are bigger ideas. So I get some advice from different people. Jason, you got to focus in on helping people's business. Yes, we do that. I will do that. That's today's subject. We're going to do that. And I'm going to continue to do that over and over. But I've got to let you know the reason why I'm still playing the game is for these bigger reasons. If we don't enforce antitrust laws, your opportunity to be able to feed your family, to be able to grow your own business, to be able to create economic freedom for yourself, it goes away. And so, yes, we have to care about it. We have to pay attention to things like why BlackRock owns as much as it does, why Microsoft has so much power, why Amazon has so much power. All of these, we have to pay attention to that. And so those getting politicians in office, building our voice big enough so that we have influence over those politicians, right? Those kinds of things, it matters. No matter how small of a business that you have, we've got to be engaged in that fight. And then the third piece is common sense AI regulations, okay? Those of you that don't, I look at currently at AI as a massive rush by these companies to consolidate power in their own hands, right? That's how I see it. And I don't care. I'm an anti-bully guy. You know, I fight trafficking. I fight anti-domestic violence, starvation, veterans. Like anytime I see any bullying going on, I get involved. And I see the potential starting to grow that we need to have for the small business community, that we need to have some common sense AI rules, right? Because AI at its core, everybody's excited about it, but again, this group thinks deeper. We don't think shallow, we think deeper. And so when you look at AI at its core, it's theft of intellectual property, okay? At its core. Now, I know there's some great uses for this over time. I know there's some great application. I understand it, but it's theft of intellectual property at its core. And that's going to be the core of the show that we're going to talk about a little bit today on how to protect yourself against people who are utilizing this that aren't as competent as their copy and what they're putting together. They're not as competent. right? Can you imagine the advertising for a heart surgeon going out because he ChatGPT'd how to be a great heart surgeon and then put out the marketing, and you go to that person and they don't actually have the competence that was laid out with their ChatGPT, right? This got to be careful. And so I believe AI can be a wonderful tool. But if it consolidates the power in too few pockets, we end up in the same situation that we would end up in any consolidation arena, right? The Constitution of the United States, the greatest anti-consolidation of power document ever written. We look at what's happened with antitrust. We've got some laws that have been enforced over time that has created the simple ability for you to be able to exist in a business right now and be able to operate according to your discipline, according to your learning, according to your talents, according to your passions. You have the freedom to be able to pursue what you want to pursue because of a tiny little law, a tiny little thought process that happened back in 1890 called the Sherman Act. We need to have the Sherman Act, the concept of it that involves AI regulation, some common sense regulation. So those are the three platforms, why we're all together, why I'm still in the game, why I'm so passionate about you gathering with us in this community of people that has better thoughts, that we want to keep this free for our children and our grandchildren and for the rest of the world and for generations to come, to have and sit in the opportunity that you and I have sat in, the ability to free myself, the ability to free yourself, that we take for granted. This hasn't happened throughout history. It hasn't happened until the last couple of 100 years. And we take it for granted as if it's always been here and as if it's always going to be here. So yes, this is about you becoming free. Yes, this is conversations and content for you to be able to build your business, right? And for you to be able, that is the premise, right? That's the underlying strategy, is for us to give you the best information that you can for you to build your business to be strong, but not just for yourself, for a bigger picture. And those are the three things that I currently care about and what I want this team, this group, this community to come together around, so that we can go to Washington, D.C. and we can have solid conversations with political power, backed by economic power, backed by the numbers of the 33 million of us that currently exist in this SME community. There's not a consolidated voice in this movement. There's not one group of people that stepped up and said, no, you guys aren't needed. You're non-essential. Nobody stood up and said, no, we are essential. We do 60% of the GDP. That's damn near $18 trillion. That's bigger than all of, most of the big companies all combined. We do 60% of the hiring. That is power, but we're so decentralized that we haven't been able to build a platform. That's what Built to Exit is about. That's what Built to Exit is about. So we come together, we do a little bit of content, and then we have great conversations, and we build relationships. That's what this community is all about, right? There's lots of people that are out there that can give you advice, and that was really the impetus, right? Was a post for today's show. It was an impetus from something that I put out. And I'm going to start there, and then we're going to get into the greater conversation. But I wanted to lay that out just a little bit. Gives you the opportunity, the people that come to this show constantly and consistently, it gives you an opportunity to, when you're talking to your friends that own small businesses, it's not just, hey, come to another show where you've got some guy that's teaching about how to consult. He's the greatest consultant on the planet. He's the best looking bald guy on the face of the planet. He's got the greatest wife on the planet. He's got the greatest friends. This isn't the same tactics that are being utilized by other consultants that are out there. Matter of fact, we open the doors to consultants to come in and learn what we do. Right? We're launching out B2X certification, Built to Exit certification, because we want people that teach our business community to do better, right? We want them to teach them better so they can get better outcomes. where the consulting world right now is kind of set up to be able to just make as much money as humanly possible. We believe that consultants in our group, right, it's based on three premises: honor, results, and leadership. And we believe that we are the heart surgeons for businesses. It's that important. Because if a consultant goes in and they're just about making money for themselves and they're not about actually helping the companies that they're doing, driving their bottom line down, driving their top line up, right? Driving their ability to be able to exit their company, you're gonna do damage to a company, which that company represents people, the owner's risk, the owner's debt, the owner's family, the owner's ability to be able to put a roof over his head, the employees that work in that company, the ability to feed their families, to be able to do what they do. This is a very important community. It's a very important group of people. And as a consultant, you are honor bound to take that in deep, deep consideration, not just to throw on the tag, I'm a consultant, right? Or I'm a business coach. It's to say, I am the protector, right? I build moats around my clients. I build moats around my clients' assets. And your business is your biggest asset. We take this very, very seriously. So that group of people, and then obviously the business community. And so here's the post that I put up on Facebook that started this whole show, the whole idea behind this show. And I said, the tactics of business can be Googled, ChatGPT'd, read and repeated by a retarded parrot. Are you a business owner that's looking to build your company into a machine that creates cash? I'm Jason Sisneros, chairman and founder of Anton J Global, a world-class business consulting company that has turned around, merged, or prepped for sale hundreds of companies just like yours. I'm best known as the architect when it comes to fixing and building companies across the globe. My experience comes from owning and exiting over 20 of my own companies successfully. It's that real-world experience that I've converted into the ultimate blueprint that has saved and grown my clients' businesses. If you're tired of getting bad advice, have bought all the books, all the coaching programs, and still aren't seeing the success that you were promised, it might be time to work with a team that has actual experience and a track record of success. Please scan the QR code or visit antonj.com to schedule your free 15-minute consultation to see if we can help you reach your outcomes. That's antonj.com, ANTONJAE.com. I'll say that one more time. I said the tactics of business can be Googled, ChatGPT'd, read and repeated by a retarded parrot. Okay? Now, what did I mean by that? I meant to be a little bit offensive. I meant to be a little bit controversial. I meant to. Because there's a lot of stuff that you're seeing out on the internet right now that you're seeing the marketing. Where's it coming from? They're going to ChatGPT and they're saying, hey, I want to market to say I'm the greatest business consultant out there and give the greatest advice, blah, blah, blah. And so what comes out is AI goes out and it steals the best information that has convinced somebody to buy their product and or service when it comes to coaching and teaching people about business. It goes out and steals it, okay? Well, you can Google that or ChatGPT, what are the greatest tactics for me to build my business? And guess what? AI is gonna do what it does. It goes out like a thief in the night and it finds the best tactics, the best tactics for you to be able to apply your business. It'll print it out in like a 1 through 50 step. And it'll tell you. And so when I made the comment about the parrot, it's because that's what most of the advertising and marketing that you're reading is somebody that AI went out, it stole the content, it came back, it repeated it out of a face. Some of the faces aren't even real. Right now you have fake influencer faces. You have AI podcasts that are having conversations between AI. It's unbelievable what's going on. Okay, there's practical applications for it, but I want to make sure that we understand the end of the day. Okay, the end of the day, and then I'm going to get into a little bit about the idea behind this. but I want to go to the end and then we'll come back. Is that yes, you can have the content. Yes, you can go, you can Google it, you can chat GPT it, but inside of business, and everybody that's owned a business longer than 10 days knows that having a list of things to do is radically unhelpful. It's radically unhelpful. This is why the concept of consulting comes into play. This is why the concept of learning from somebody who's walked that path. And I've said it a lot of time. If you don't have the money to hire a consultant, to do a program, to do whatever, just take somebody that's been in business for 10 years or longer in your community, take them to coffee and ask them some questions. You're going to learn more from them than these fake ass people that are just using AI to make them look good. They're polishing a turd. AI is polishing a lot of turds out there in the world. Okay? But a polished turd is still a turd. Okay, so the idea behind it is that yes, you can print out what you need to do for your business. Yes, you can Google it, ChatGPT, but there's something called sequencing. Okay, there's something called sequencing. What order should you do them in? Allocation. There's something about allocation. How much of your time, energy, and finances should you allocate to what sequence in that list of the list itself? How much should you allocate? There's something called gamification, tying your P&L to the desired outcomes for every outcome, every activity, every SOP in your organization. The timing of it. How should you time out the application and the allocation and the gamification of that list that you just printed out that makes you seem like now I know everything about how to build a business? The end game. Everybody's end game is different. What is yours? Exit prep. Exit it, prepping your company up for the proper exit for yourself. And this is what takes me back to the conversation that I was having with this gentleman at Thanksgiving dinner. And what he does is he does software for hedge funds, right? And hedge funds primarily help public companies as opposed to private equity, which is helping private businesses like yours and mine, right? And those are the ones that are buying businesses like yours and mine. This is what we prep. When we say exit, built to exit, it's built to exit to buy for the buyers that know how to buy our companies. And that is primarily private equity at the highest level. But it brings me back to that conversation. And he said something about the software that he's doing. He's like, look, at the end of the day, public companies, they all have the same stuff going on in them. It just boils down to, in the software that we build, is what is the investor looking to get out of it? What is their strategy? And it dawned on me it just reminds me of the conversation that we have every Saturday, is that business, the tactics have not changed for hundreds of years. The tactics have always been the same. It's how you stack them together. It's how you build them that makes it important and unique and custom tailored to you, the one that's listening to me, the one that's watching me. We talked three basic things. Where are you right now? Okay. Where are you right now? You have to assess that, and you can go to builttoexit.biz, and right there, smack dab in the middle, is the very first thing you come to, is hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of an assessment that I've utilized over the course of the last 20 years of my life. You can take it, you can know where you are, and then secondarily, you want to figure out what your end game is. What do you want to sell for, right? If you don't know, I would say get to a $5 million EBITDA, right? Which means that you can sell your company for $15 to $30 million. Lots of buyers in that range. So figure out how to make your end game in that arena. And then in the middle, you take the tactics, you properly sequence them, you properly allocate the time and effort, you gamify it, you figure out the timing, you figure out the exit prep, and you execute on that specific strategy for you and your business. It's going to be different. The tactics will all remain the same. But if you're trying to sell for $30 million, your tactics are going to be different. The amount of tactics, the amount of assets built, all of that stuff is going to be different than if you're trying to sell for $5 million. It's customization. And so I wanted to go in, into a little story, and I compared this a little bit to Leonardo da Vinci. And the idea that came to me when I was thinking about this was, you can take Leonardo da Vinci's work and you could Xerox it, right? This is what AI does. You Xerox it and you hand it out and you say, look, that's my painting. This is all AI does. Or you can learn and become your own Leonardo da Vinci. What does that mean? Jason, how do I become? And Leonardo da Vinci, he's legendary, right? He's legendary. He's done so many things. In fact, one of the things I want to list out, what is he known for? The Mona Lisa. He painted the Last Supper that's hanging in the Vatican, right? The Vitruvian Man, the Baptism of Christ, Adoration of Magi, Lady of Ermine, the Annunciation. These are all things he created, right? He was known for studies of anatomy, detailed dissections and studies of the human body, studies of plants and nature, storms of over the Alps. He did his self-portrait. He engineered and invented flying machines, the first tank, a machine gun. Now we're talking about way back. These are things, scuba gear, hydraulic engineering, automation, a parachute, the helix elevator. He architected things like the central plan of churches, the fortification design, city planning. So he's known for all these things. Jason, what do you mean like I could be Da Vinci? All you're doing is creating what's in your own mind. And the last thing that I want you to do is to be a cheap copy. Each and every one of you has a unique and beautiful individual design for your own life. And you are one of the minority, right? Less than 10% of the people in the United States. I would say that's less than 10% of people on the entire face of the planet. Call themselves business owners. You are unique in the word business owner. And so rather than celebrating that, rather than expanding upon who you are, rather than doing that, we tend to become cheap copies. You are the Da Vinci of your own life. Your paintbrush is your business. Your creativity can be thrown out through solving problems. We get caught up in the idea that owning a business is about financing our own lives, instead of understanding that it only finances your life when you have fallen in love with the outcome of somebody else, when you are solving somebody else's problem with your business and constantly obsessing about how to do that better than your competition, how to do that better than somebody else, coming up with brand new ways, cross-pollinating, learning from different industries, figuring out how to be the best that you can possibly be, and being the Da Vinci of your own life. That is who you are. You are an innovator. You are an entrepreneur. You are a manager leader. You have all of these aspects inside of you, and we settle for settling. We settle for settling. We settle for, I'm not deserving of all that. I'm not Da Vinci. I'm not Elon Musk. Who cares? All you have to do is be the Da Vinci that is going to be able to create your very first end game. Trust me, they get bigger. Trust me, the outcomes get bigger. Right? I'm sitting here talking about, with this show and with this community, wanting to change what's going on in Washington, D.C., which will then ultimately impact and influence what's going to happen in the world. Yeah, that is insane for a kid from me, for a nobody from nowhere, to be able to think that big. But we are a little crazy. You know it, and I know it. So being the Da Vinci, let's talk a little bit about being Da Vinci and where you can apply his lessons into your own life. One last note, because I want this to be a little clip that goes out and we talk about this over the next couple of weeks. I want to just, before we get into Da Vinci's mode, I want you to understand some things about Da Vinci's, the Elon Musk, everybody that you admire, anybody that's ever done anything in life. When we look at those people, what we see is the polished, PR'd, marketing. I don't want to say fake because it's not fake, but it's not a true vision of what they had to go through, who they had to become to be able to get to where they were. And I want you to understand this because it reflects in your own mirror. It reflects in the mirror that I look in. It reflects in the mirror of every single human being that is ever trying to do anything for themselves, for their lives, for their communities, for their churches, for their country, for legacy, is that everybody has dirt. Everybody has made mistakes. Yes, you. Yes, Elon. Yes, Da Vinci. Yes, all of these people, if you dig a little bit deeper, what you're going to find is their humanity. And we, as potential Da Vincis in our own life, what we end up doing is saying, I have made so many mistakes. I made a mistake in investing here. I made a mistake in a relationship there. I made a mistake with friendships over here. I made a mistake in business over here. I wasn't able to pay this. I went out of business. I've da-da-da-da-da. All this kind of stuff. We live in a world where you beat yourself up over mistakes that are necessary in the journey to your own success. Yes, you made mistakes. Make it right and move on. Let that shit go. You are unbelievably talented. You have unbelievable potential that gets buried in this polished bullshit that we see out there in the AI world and in the social media world. We see that polished bullshit. Every single one of those people has stuff underneath of it. And this is what happens. We polish it up. We make everybody seem bigger than life. We blah, blah, blah. And then we can't wait to destroy them because they're of their humanity that was there while you were canonizing them to be saints that they never were. Business owners, especially if you have, and I just made some notes so I didn't go too far off the path. True business owners have dirt. Pretending not to have dirt is a lie. Polished teachers are hiding their bullshit. And the fact that you have shit is why I want to learn from you. Hi, my name is Jason Sisneros, founder and chairman of Anton J Global, a world-class business consulting company that has helped hundreds of clients and thousands of growth course students fix, scale, and successfully master their businesses. To put it simply, my team and I help people turn their businesses into machines that create cash. To better support startups and other mid-sized companies, my team and I developed a phenomenal and comprehensive digital growth course where I poured decades of business ownership and know-how into 20 hours of content. This course is not easy. It's not an easy pill, but demands real work from you to implement the blueprints that I've developed. We know that reaching financial freedom is never easy, but totally worth it. Go to growthcourse.com right now to learn more about the course and get started on your business journey today. You know, if you've been following me for the last 4 or 5 years or the last 3 weeks, I make no secret of the mistakes that I've made because they've been incredibly valuable to learn from. Stop hiding in your mistakes. They were necessary. In the early part of my life, I needed to get over the mistakes of integrity. I was massively out of integrity as a human being because I was raised by a man who was massively out of integrity. That was my lessons. But then I had to take personal responsibility, and I started learning from men early in my life, men especially, and women, as I've gone on, about integrity and how that is necessary, that we overcome the lack of integrity in our decision making. which is why Built to Exit is built on 3 premises. If you're going to come and get certified through us, you're going to adhere to 3 areas in the arena: honor, results, and leadership. I had to learn that. Any other mistake is a mistake of progress. Stop beating yourself up over it. Let it go, as a famous cartoon has said. All right, so let's get back to Da Vinci. Okay, the Da Vinci framework for business mastery. Number 1, raw material recognition. Okay, the assessment, if you haven't gone to builttoexit.biz and done the assessment, I don't know what's wrong with you. Okay, raw material recognition. Understand your natural talents and limitations, identify your unique market position, assess your available resources, and genuine interest. Now, remember this. You've got to have an interest in what you do, right? When I was digging into Da Vinci and his life and studying a little bit about his history, there was a penchant, right? There was a beginning interest in the things that we went through in his list of accomplishments. For you, your business should be a representation of things that you're interested in. And it may be your first step to go, I'm only interested in enough because I have some competence in it and I can feed my family and I can get to my very first end game. I can get to my very first exit, and then I want to chase this other thing. And the key question being, what's your authentic starting point? Number 2, apprentice under a master. I always think that he apprenticed under a guy by the name of Pinocchio, and it's not Pinocchio, it's Aldecchio or something like that, who Leonardo da Vinci mentored. That was his mentor. And so you got to choose your mentors very, very carefully. This is why the subject, why that post that I put out is teaching you, like I had to learn, that you got to dig, right? We got to do that due diligence to make sure that if you're going to take advice from somebody, make sure that that person is living the life that you want to live, did the things that they said. Like, you can't just, if you hire or listen to the person who polished their turd with AI, you're going to get turd results, right? So, Google can't replace real-world mentorship. Learning from those who have painted their own masterpieces. Very important. Understand the difference between information and wisdom. Wisdom is all of those things that I talked about. All of those things. The allocation, the sequencing, the gamification, the timing, building your own end game, all of that stuff is wisdom, not information. Who's guiding your brushstrokes? Okay? It's a great question. That's a Da Vinciism. Who is guiding your brush strokes? Number 3, technical mastery. Moving beyond copying tactics to understanding principles. Right, we did a version of this show that was called Business Principles, because I believe that business has principles. When we talk about the hedge fund guy that I was talking to on Thanksgiving dinner, he said they all do the same stuff. It boils down to the same tactics. But now it comes down to principles. Are they behaving on principles of the free marketplace? Because you can't fight against that battle. Developing intuition through repetition and reflection. Those of you that are graduates of the B2X system, those of you that are now in the certification program, you know that what we talk about is you've got to reflect on the decisions that you're making. We have an entire strategy set up around this. But you've got to reflect. What decision did I make last week? Did it get me the results? Lead generation, sales closed, customer service, referrals. Did we bring down the price of the widget that I do? All of those questions. You got to be able to reflect on them, or you're just going to continue to get what you're getting now because you didn't do the work to reflect. Learning when to follow the rules and when to break them. You got to know the rules if you're going to break them. And innovation in and of itself, in the description, is breaking the rules. Innovation means you're going to do something different for the purpose, right? Remember principle, the purpose of improving your product and or service. For who? For whoever's outcome you fell in love with to solve their problem. Business is not some kind of esoteric idea. You're solving a problem for somebody. End of sentence. Your business is a machine that creates cash. Your business is set up to do one of three things: make people money, save people money, or radically and measurably improve the quality of their life. See, these are things that are simple principles, but I understand the nature of it. And once you do, now you can start to break those rules. And you can start to do something like Built to Exit, which is meant to put all of the fakers out of business and to give a voice to a group of people who need a voice. I don't start businesses to be in business in that vertical. I start businesses to create a revolution in whatever vertical I happen to be in. That was in janitorial. That was in all of the different industries that I've touched. I didn't go in just to be another janitorial company. I didn't go in to just be another, I went in to innovate. But I had to spend time understanding the nature of it so that I could then change the nature of it to be a better product and or service. Are you mastering tools or just collecting them? Think about that for a second. How many books do you have that are unread on your bookshelf? How many programs have you bought that you didn't execute on? One of the biggest things that I get from people when we're having conversations with them about the digital program that we put out is, I would buy it but not do it. Really? Then don't buy it. Don't buy it at all. If you know you're not going to follow through on it, don't do it. And the fourth piece, as we kind of come to the end here, is your personal expression. And I cannot speak to this more passionately, more deeply, requesting from you to be who you are. In whatever it is that you do, there's something unique about you that has to express itself through your art called your business. Or you're just another one, right? You're just a me too. You're just a cheap carbon copy. You're a Xerox of the Mona Lisa. And I know that's not what you were created for. I know that's not what you were put on this earth for. I know that you were meant to be able to throw on the table at some point in your journey something that nobody's ever seen before that takes my breath away. Yeah, it could be in janitorial. It could be in plumbing. It could be in drywall. It could be whatever. Whatever your business is. Creating your unique business masterpiece, adapting proven principles to your specific context, building something that cannot be replicated by AI or your competitors. The key question is that I want you to take away with that is, what makes your business uniquely yours? What is it that makes your business uniquely yours? So this comes all the way back. Built to Exit is always about Built to Exit, right? Built to Exit is everybody exits how matters. Very, very important. Simple principle. Everybody exits how matters. How are you going to exit your business? Because you will. Through death, through failure, through settling, or through a custom tailored exit built just for you. Define your masterpiece, map your current position, do the assessment. And if it's not my assessment, it's again, this is something I want to make crystal clear. No matter how many people ever come through Built to Exit, no matter how many people end up doing the Built to Exit system, no matter how many people end up doing deep dives and mergers and acquisitions through Anton J, no matter how many people become strategists that are certified through the B2X methodology, if one of you does, if 1,000 of you does, if none of you does, the quality of my life is not impacted. The quality of your life will be impacted. That is the true determining factor. I do what I do at this point in my life out of sheer passion for the person that was like me, looking for the right answers, looking for some strategies, looking for some leadership, looking for some integrity-based information. Somebody that gave a shit about my outcome more than they gave a shit about their own. I am not a polished turd. I am an original. A polished original, if you will. By the shine on my head, you can tell it. And this is not to brag. This is just to say you can do, if I could do it, anybody can do it. It's important. Define your masterpiece, map your current position, learn from those who have come before you, and create a business worth acquiring. If you build a business worth acquiring, doesn't mean you need to sell it. It just means you're going to be optimized in your cash flow. It means that you're going to have a management team in place so that your time is not required for that asset to build and grow. It's going to mean that you have a quality of life and that you can do the things outside of that business that you're passionate about. Spending time with family, building a nonprofit, changing other people's lives, donating, whatever it is that is building the thing that will live beyond you that cannot go in the coffin with you. What good are you going to leave on the planet behind you? It's a big question. Your business isn't meant to be a paint-by-numbers project. It's your chance to create something remarkable. Start with the end in mind, learn from true masters, and build something that is uniquely yours. That's it for this week. Sort of a parting shot. $84 trillion is going to be transferring hands through small businesses. 1.5 trillion of that is in cash waiting to buy your business right now. You just got to do the work, right? You got to do the hashtag that has followed me around for the last 5 years, because I said it long ago. You got to do the right hard work, not running it really, really hard in the wrong direction. Do the right hard work. I love y'all. I'm so appreciative that this community of people is growing, that you all are sharing this content, that you all are sharing the videos and bringing people with you. The platform and the people that are showing up on Saturdays is growing. The conversations are deeper, more important, more personal, because we have something in this community called trust. We trust each other. Because we do due diligence, because we have grace, because we understand that making mistakes is part of the journey, we get real with each other. And I'm glad you're here. I cannot wait to meet you in person. We've got a lot of live stuff that we're going to be doing. Can't wait to hug you. Can't wait to high five you. Can't wait to hear your success stories. I'm Jason Sisneros. This has been another episode of Built to Exit. Everybody exits. How matters. Make sure you build yours to your specific end game. I love y'all. Peace.